Welcome back, guys. So in this video and in all the coming videos we will go through adding the widgets and customize the widgets for our ArcGIS Experience Builder website. So we will start from the top here and see how can we edit the header. So here we have a button that say edit header, and that will allow us to edit the header. So here I can change this text to ArcGIS Mastery. And here also when you click on this one, you can customize how the text looks like from the right side here. Connected to data, you can actually connect it to certain data. If you have any layer that you want to show a certain field and this layer dynamically change, you can change the title and the text that's shown up here through this data, but most likely this one just for the title of the website. So it's not going to be a data, it's just going to be like you can change the text and alignment and the font and all these things. You can change it from here. On the image, you can change the logo. When you click on it, you will see that you have two things. You have the content and you have the style. For the content, you can select the image, and for the style, you can customize the interface or how the image looks like the width, the height, the alignment, if you want it to be animated or not, the background, the border, the box shadow, and all the other user interface or the UI for this control that is like very similar to all the other controls. So this one, you can change that for the icon of your logo right here. For the content, you have the ability to set a link. You can use any existing logo online and take the URL and set a link for it, or you can choose one and you can upload. For example, let's upload the logo for ArcGIS Mastery. So we're gonna add that, and here we have the logo. You can customize it, make it bigger, or you can change that from the style right here. If you want to add a URL, you can add a URL for any logo and it will show up. Going back again here, you will see that you have here set a link, and that link will open another website or URL you want. So for example, you can open, when the user click on this one, it can open a page, and you use this one specifically for when you have multiple pages and you define the header for your website. You want this one to go back to the home page, or you can select a view. You can view a specific view. So we have the page, as I showed you before. Here we have pages and we have windows. So you can make the user, when they click on this logo, it do something, and here you define what this thing is. So for example, I will add this one here. I will say https www.arcgismastery.com, and what that will do will open ArcGIS Mastery in a new window, new top window or app window. I'll open it in a new window. I'll say okay. If I save this and I view it, you'll see that I have my logo here, and when I click on it, it will open ArcGIS Mastery in a new tab. So that's how you configure your logo. And on the right side here, you have the social media sharing, and this option is to allow the user to click on one of these icons and it will share this website using Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, email, or QR code. So let's see how that works. When I click save and I open it, here we should make it bigger actually, so let's make that bigger because it's not fit. So here you go. Save and run. And here on the top, when you click on Facebook, it will open your Facebook account for you and give you the link for this website to share it. And if you choose an email, it will make a URL for the website and will add it to your email. If you click QR code, it will create an image for you, and you can save this image and send it to someone so they can just scan the image with their phone, and it will open the website for them. So this is not a social media accounts that you click on it, it open your social media. This is accounts or links to share this website on one of this social media. So that's for this one here. You have very limited options of how it look like and what share options are available for you, and you can change the design from here. So that's all what we have for the header. You can also change the header background color, so you can change the background color to white or black or blue or any color you want. Again, I'm not very good at choosing colors and all these things. And also you can enable a footer, and a footer you can add in here like any items you want. For example, you can add an image, you can add contact us, you can add any of the layouts or the controls. For example, here I can add an image. I'll drag it and drop it here, and I'll make this image smaller, and I will also set this image as the logo, and I will make it smaller at the bottom here. And then I also can add a text. I can say this is a hyperlink, and this text will be contact us. For example, here I can say contact us, and I can choose this one and I customize it to be a hyperlink. I will say this is gonna take me to a URL, and this URL is HTTPS, or I can say, for example, here open a window or open a new page. So this is gonna be a URL. The text, I changed it to be a URL, so when the user click on it, it does something. You can add a URL for open an email or open a new page that have your contact information and your website or any other information you want to add to this URL. You can add anything. You can add privacy notice, contact us, terms and conditions. You can add any information at the footer down here. And here we can say disable the footer, so we can change it. So you can enable the footer here. You can also disable or enable the header. It's up to you how you want to design your header or footer, and you can add controls as I showed you in the footer right now. So that's for the header. For every single control, when you click on it, it will give you the settings as I showed you in the previous video. So we will go through the controls we have here first. We have the first one is the map, and when you click on the map, here you select the map that it will show in your map control. So here when we select the map, you can say add new data from the bottom here, and this will open your content in your organization. You can filter your content by my groups, my organization, or ArcGIS Online or Live in Atlas. You have so many data that you can use, and it's up to you how you want to use it. So for example, we can use this daily COVID trends, and when you view the item here, you can open it in a new tab so you can see what exactly inside this layer, like what is a base map, what is, if there's any feature layers. Here's the layers we have a USA state international boundaries, feature layer, and we have this two base maps. So that's what is your map contain. Or you can add from your content, and we can add any of this layers. So I will add here, I'll choose a builder web map. So we created a map for this one, and I'm gonna choose this one. So I say done, and this gonna update this map to show my map that I just chose. If you wanted to view it in live view, you can always click live view, and live view will show you how the application will look like, as I showed you before. But when you select the map, this is gonna be the data for your map. You can add multiple maps here, but the one you select is the one that's gonna show up in your map control. So for example, I can add another data, and I will say I want to add this one as well. I'll say done, and you just add it to your list, but you are not showing it on the map. You can only show one at a time, and when you select them, you can show both of them in the same time by selecting here this one. You can switch between the maps inside your application, but you will only see one map at a time, but you can switch between them. And this is a very helpful tool because you can add multiple web maps and the user can switch between them. And let me show you how that works. When you open it here, you will see that your map have the main one, which is the one in the order here, the one on the top, inspection map. If you want to change the order, you have the option to choose which one to show here, so you can select it as the default one, initial view default, and you select which one you want to show. But when you open the application, you will see that here you have the option to switch between them. So you have this one, so now we are switching between the maps. So this is a really good tool. If you have two maps that designed differently, you can customize it from here. And when you have the live view, it will allow you to actually work on the map like as it's you are running it right here. So that's the first thing here. We defined the content, we added two maps, and based on which map we're using, we can set the default. Here you have the initial view for the map. You can use the default extent for this existing web map, or you can customize the initial extent for the map. So here we can click modify, and we will select what default extent for this specific web map when we run it. You either can use the existing default extent from the web map, or you can customize it from here and you say OK, and that will change the default web map for me. Here at the bottom we have the options with the map. We can enable the zoom, the home button, and you can enable and disable the navigation. You can enable the locate. The locate is to locate your actual location, so it's going to use the GPS device in your computer or your tablet or your phone. Here you can show the compass, as you see here. You can show the layer list, you can show base map gallery, you can show measure, full screen, scale bar, and select. Actually, sometimes that's all what you need inside some of the applications you have. So you have it in the map here. You can enable all these things, and when you save, let's enable navigation as well. When you save and you view it, you can do zoom in, zoom out. You have the home button. You have here, as I showed you, you have the scale bar. You have selected features. So if I selected this one, it will like show me which one is selected. Here say one is selected, and it can zoom to it. Here you go back and make it a full screen. You can make your map a full screen, and you can go back again. There's so many really good options with the map that already exist. You have the measure, you have the base map gallery to change your base map for your map control, and we have the layer list, so you can view the layer list and all the layers you have. Also here you can select multiple features. It's going to show you which ones are selected here. You can clear selection from here. You can select like this already existing controls that enabled right at the map level, and you don't need to add it as a control or something different. Here you have a tool layout, so this tool's on the top. You can change how it will look like. You can make it look like this or like that, and it's really good way to customize your map however you want. Here's the options, and this is options for highlighting on the map. How does the highlight look like, the lines and the color for the highlight. Enable scroll zooming, so you can use the scroll in your mouse to zoom in and zoom out. Enable pop-up will enable the pop-up when you click on any feature. Like as you see, this is enabling the pop-up, and this is the color for the highlight as it's defined right here. So that's the content for the map. You define the web map that will be associated with your map control. You can add multiple maps, and you can customize the extent if you want. For the style, again, and as I told you, it's all the same. Like every time I open the style, you're gonna find it the same. You just change the orientation, the offset, and the animation. For the action, the map have a certain actions, and that is extent changed. And when you choose extent changed, you can add an action for this to do something for you. We don't have data set up for the other widgets, so there's not specific things we can do right now. But in the framework here, you can say filter data records, select data. I want to filter web app builder application. I want to do this, and that will be selected features. So right now what will happen is when the user change the extent, it will show the selected features based on this extent. So that's different triggers or actions related to the map. Or for example, you can set up the attribute table to filter the data based on the extent, not show like if you have like let's say million records and it's all here. When you zoom and you zoom to like 100 of them, and the table will show only the 100 that you zoomed to. So here, go back to the content. So that's the map control, and you can add another map control by go here. You need in order to add controls, you need to disable the live view in order to be able to add controls. If you have the live view, you cannot add controls in the live view. Here we have a legend. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm actually going to delete all the other controls. Don't show this again. Delete this one as well. Delete, because we are going to start adding controls one by one. And we can delete the column, and we can delete this row as well. So now we have a map. We can customize it to make it that big, and we can put it on the side here. And let's change this row as well. So the row is a container, and inside of it I'll just do that. Now we're gonna go through each one of them. So the legend here, we can add the legend inside the container. So let's make this container bigger, and we can take this one and add it on the right side here and make it like that. And on the map control, we can disable the selected features. Where is selection? Select here, and we can disable full screen, so we can have the legend. And when you click on the legend, it will ask you which map you want to be associated with, and this is the map that it will show the legend. So you can have a legend if you can have multiple maps. I can add another map here, and I can have the legend show this the data for this map. So this is up to you how you want to connect your legend, but as you see, when you have your legend somewhere, you have the ability to connect it to a certain map, and you can view the legend right here. You have the options: show base map legend. You can add the base map to your legend, use card style, and that will make it look like that instead of a list. And you can customize how it will look like. Also, again, you can customize the style the way you want it. So that's for the legend. The next one is map layers, and this is similar to the map layers control we have here, but again, you can have it as like a separate control that you connect it to a certain map. So if you have multiple maps, you can have the layer list for this map, and it's up to you how you want to design. You can enable zoom to, you can enable show or hide labels, transparency, view layer, and when you enable all these things, you will see that you have the option here to customize that layer based on the options you have, the options you enabled it. So here we can, this one we can change the transparency, we can increase opacity, which is the transparency. You can zoom to this layer, or you can go back to the home extent again and decrease transparency. So if I keep decreasing it, as you see, it disappears here. So that allows the user to change the transparency of the layer. Also, when you enable the details, this will open the item details for this specific layer that you have in your map, and it will give the user or whoever using this application more details about this layer. Go back here again, and the next control will be 3D toolbox, and this is for a 3D control or 3D map. We don't have a 3D map right now, but if you have a map scene, so as you see here, when you choose adding a map, you can add to it a web scene control, so you can show 3D data, and you can use the 3D toolbox to it. Alright guys, so the next control here we have is the floor filter. And sometimes you don't need to know all of them, but I'm gonna go through all of them. But what I want you to know is, if you don't know anything about specific filter, like I remember the first time I used this one, I thought it's for something, it turned out it's for something else. I thought it's for like the layers, that I can filter the layers, but it's not a filter control. It's mainly for 3D data or maps that have like building or indoor navigation. So when you add it here, you will see that you have options to enable for the map, and when you select the map, it will tell you the selected map is not floor aware, which means it doesn't have data that you can filter per floor. If you don't know how to use it or what any control used for, you can go on Google anytime and say ArcGIS Experience Builder and write the name of the control. So here we can say floor filter, and it will open the help tool for you, so you can read about this one. So here it's a floor filter widget. The floor filter widget allows users to explore floor aware maps and scene. Floor aware maps and scene contains indoor GIS data representing floor plan features, including levels, facilities, and sites. You can add you can keep reading about what this control does, so you can understand what it does in case you forgot or you don't know what it do, or you never used it before and you trying to figure out what this control is used for. You can always search on Google and find it. Or if you don't want to search, you can click here, and that's easier, and it's going to open this control help for you right away. So remember, instead of searching for Google, you can click on this one, it will open for you. So let's delete this one. You can select it and press delete on your keyboard. That will delete it as well. Make sure to save your edits every time. Here we can have a bookmark control, and the bookmark will, as you know, it's going to show the extents you use or you choose for your map. and here we can say how you want your like control to look like, do you want to design it. And when you go to the content, you say start, you select which map you want to connect it to, because again you might have multiple maps, and you say add bookmark, so there's going to be a bookmark added for specific places. So for example, this one here, I will add this as a bookmark. I will say save, and it will be saved as bookmark 1, and you can customize this name by coming here and say my bookmark, or inspection 1, or anything you want to add, and it will change the name of the bookmark. You can choose another bookmark, you can close this one and say add another bookmark, and you can add as many bookmarks as you want. So you can have that here and say and we'll call this one another area, and you can save this one. So you can add as many bookmarks as you want. You can draw some graphics to show this graphics in the bookmark. It's completely up to you. And here we have some more custom source for the image, or the image that you have here. So you can have the bookmark for the place, but you have a different image for what's inside this container right here. So let's delete the bookmark and try to add another one. Here we have the draw, and that will allow you to draw controls on the map. So let's make this container actually smaller. And here you have the control, and again most of the controls you need to associate it with a certain map, so I will use this map. And if you want to change the name of the map, you can select it and change the map here. So this is my map 1, and that will be the name of the map. So every time you come here, you will see that you have the names of the maps you chose, and this is the one we have for this control. It looks bigger than it should be, so if I go to the style, I can change the height and make it custom, and I will make it like that. But maybe there's something that show up here, so let's see how that will look like when I run it. Like, you always have to try things to see how it look like, just to have an idea of how it looks like when you use it. So here, select the draw control, I can draw a line, and as you see, it gives you options to use the theme. So maybe you want to enable that or disable it and make the control have a specific theme like this one. So you can change the symbology for your line. If you draw a polygon, you can choose how your polygon will look like. You can have a freehand polygon like this, and you can choose which controls you want to use. This is to draw graphics, it's not to edit features, this is just to draw graphics. So if we go back here, this is what it's used for. Mainly you define which map is going to be used for and how the toolbar gonna look like. So here you can choose if you want to have the panel to change the symbology, or you want just to have the toolbar by itself, and then you can change it like that and add it anywhere you want. You can add it like this, or you can add it inside a container. We have some advanced options here, and the advanced will be which geometry you can draw: point, line, polygon, rectangle, circle. Enable measurement, so you can enable measuring with it as well. When you draw a line, it gives you the measures. We have a measurement control, but this one will just enable measurement when you draw it. So that's the draw. I think that's good for this video. We covered like the basic main thing, which is the map. We were able to change the data and see how we want to customize the map, and we covered some of the other features. In the next video, I will go through go through the list of the features right here. So if you have any questions about these controls so far, leave a comment in this video so I can relate to exactly what part you want to have a question about. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video.